And we are live. What it do? What it do? What it do? What it do? YouTube, greetings and welcome. How's everyone doing? Sal, how you doing? Eating your popcorn. I see. What is going on? What is going on? Let me see how I do the peoples. Um, you guys, it is 9 p.m. here in Chicago, and I'm really happy because tomorrow we are going to break this polar ice cap that we have. It's going to be the big degree of 38 degrees. So I'm very happy about that. Let's see. What else? Today was a really busy day. But I had I had something on my mind, and it was it was pretty heavy. It was pretty heavy. So before I get into everything, let me just hey Sal, hi Sal. Um this is heavy, you guys. Yeah, this one hit deep. And so hold on, you guys. My monitor is playing games right now. There we go. All right, there we go. Okay, I got you guys. I got you. Hey, oh, we got the peoples up in here. We got Box Boy Rich. Okay, giving Sal, the thank you for setting that heat wave and what have you. Wait a minute. And we got Miss Martha. I love that music, honey. And wait a minute, I did not send word to my Moddies, and yet they are here. So I am blessed. I am blessed. So thank you guys for being here. Okay, so before I say anything tonight, I want to take a minute. I want to take a minute and I want to take a moment for Rob Reiner. Not as a political figure and not as a headline, but as someone who was a part of my life long before politics ever meant anything. So, with all that being said, I grew up on the South Side of Chicago, and I had a family, I had friends, I had love. Saturday Saturday nights meant something as a kid. After a full day of playing outside and doing whatever we had to do, we'd go back home and we'd all take a bath, and then we would order pizza from this place called Capri's. To me, still the best pizza on the planet. And we would all sit in front of the TV together. And that was kind of like church for us. And that is where I first met Rob Reiner, right here. He's the he's the one on the back, the very last gentleman on the back, because we may have some people over here who have no idea who he is. So again, that was the first time I ever met Rob Reiner. He played Michael Stivic, and that was Gloria Bunker's husband. Gloria is the young lady in the front with the blonde hair. And Archie, the gentleman behind Gloria, nicknamed him the Meathead. So love him or hate him, he was a part of the room. And then on Tuesday nights, there was Laverne and Shirley. And Penny Marshall played Laverne DeFazio. And for a while, she and Rob, they were married. And somewhere in my child's mind, it felt like my two TV worlds touched. And these two familiar faces, in my living room, they were a collective. And and again, in my child mind, in my pop culture, minutia, The two people that I liked, the two people that would befriend me, through the TV, they were together. And for whatever reason, it just felt right. So life moved on, and Rob and Penny's marriage ended. And Rob had built another family. Years later, reports would surface about struggles in the family. Um, struggles about pain, struggles about addiction, struggles about instability. And I'm not saying this to judge anyone. I'm just telling this because these were real people and they were in our homes. They were part of our memories, and that mattered. Last night, Rob and his wife were unalived, allegedly at the hands of their son Nick. I share that because when someone like Rob Reiner passes, this is not abstract. It's not a headline. It's not a spectator's a sport. This is someone who lived in the background of my childhood, in moments of safety, in moments of laughter, and in moments of togetherness. And that's why what I've been seeing lately sits really heavy on my mind. It's been sitting really heavy in my spirit. Somewhere along the way, somewhere along the way, we stopped as a collective, we stopped responding to death like it's human, and we started responding like it's political. Instead of pausing, we post. Instead of grieving, we're scoring points. Instead of remembering a full life, we reduce a person to a position. When society looks at loss, like real loss, and feels satisfaction because of an ideology, that's 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 not passion, that's not conviction, that is spiritual bankruptcy. Addiction, addiction and personal destruction that Rob's son was facing. Let me go about it this way. Addiction isn't just a habit. It's a force that quietly and then violently takes over a person's mind, a person's heart, and their spirit. And it reshapes their priorities. It it blurs their boundaries. It rewires empathy. At its deepest, it can make someone act in ways that no one would ever imagine. And that addiction can eclipse reasoning. It could eclipse the most sacred feelings that we as human beings have. And addiction, it just erases restraint. And while I don't sit here and think that I know every detail, it's clear that when the addiction dominated, it it left very little room for consciousness, for connection, or even family bonds. That's the part of the spiritual emptiness that we're seeing when these destructive forces go unchecked. and they consume everything good in a person's path, and sometimes shattering the most sacred relationships. Before I go further, I want to play a video for you guys. All right, give me a second.
When you first heard about the murder of Charlie Kirk, what was your immediate gut reaction to it?
Well, horror, absolute horror. And I unfortunately saw the video of it, and it's beyond belief what happened to him, and that should never happen to anybody. I don't care what your political beliefs are. That's not acceptable. That's not a solution to solving problems.
Rob Reiner was he was very liberal. He was very liberal in his ideology. He was an underdog for, fringed minorities. He and his wife, they stood for causes. And even though Charlie Kirk was directly oppositional to what Rob and his wife stood for, Rob Reiner still had enough grace to remember that Charlie Kirk was somebody. As flawed as he was somebody's son, he was somebody's husband, he was somebody's father. Now, I'm going to show you guys a letter. And this is not to incite anybody. This is just to show contrast. This is from the leader of the free world. And essentially, the leader of the free world said that Rob Reiner's and his wife's death were caused by Rob Reiner's political differences, his ideology. Let me get that off. Now let's pause and consider this. When a leader, the person of the world, the person that the world looks for guidance, responds to death with mockery or blame or ideology instead of empathy, what are we seeing? When Rob Reiner dies, and the first public post isn't mourning, it's pointing fingers, it's calling it Trump derangement syndrome. This isn't just a political posturing. What we're seeing is a psychological and moral deficiency. It's a deficit of empathy. It's a breakdown in the ability to just pause and to feel someone else's pain, or to recognize the sanctity of life. I got some I got some psychology classes underneath my belt, and by no means do I call myself a psychologist or anything like that, but it is what it is. I do remember some of my studies, and some psychologists would call what Trump wrote a narcissistic preoccupation. That is when ego, a narrative, or self matters more than the reality, when it matters more than the compassion, when it matters more than human decency. And it's also a tribal identity overtaking somebody's conscious. When a person becomes a symbol, not a human being. And the ripple effect is spiritual. A society mirrors what it sees at the top. If life is treated like political currency, the culture learns to do the same. And that is spiritual bankruptcy in action. Spiritual bankruptcy isn't about religion. It's about what's missing. It's what happens when empathy runs out. When people stop seeing each other as humans and only see each other as labels, left, right, liberal, conservative, enemy. We've normalized cheering tragedy as long as it happens to the right person. If someone is politically vocal, people feel justified laughing at their suffering. If someone is controversial, their death becomes content. And that should scare the shit out of us, no matter what side we're on. When people with platforms respond with loss, with mockery and blame or ideological jabs, it doesn't just reflect them. It's a license for everyone else to do the same. Tone travels downward. If a leader mocks, the audience learns that it's okay to mock too. When someone passes, that should slow us down. Instead, we speed up to get our take out first. Everybody's opinion is valid. Everybody wants to get out there in the zeitgeist, and they deserve that, or whatever, however we take it. But at the end of the day, this isn't a political crisis anymore. It's a moral one. Because once you're happy someone died because of how they voted, something inside of you has already gone quiet. And no policy position is worth that. You don't have to agree with someone to grieve them. You don't have to like someone to recognize their humanity. And the moment we lose that, we lose more than elections. We lose ourselves. This isn't a question anymore of which side is worse. This is the question of what is it doing to us? What does it cost a society when cruelty feels justified? When death feels like it's deserved? Or when silence feels weak? Spiritual bankruptcy doesn't announce itself. It shows up real quiet. It shows up in jokes. It shows up in posts. It shows up in celebrations. It shows up in applause at the wrong moments. And if we don't interrupt it, we're going to wake up in a culture where nothing is sacred anymore. I still remember those Saturday nights and the sense of togetherness that I had. And that's the world we're losing when we let cruelty and indifference take over. And for me, that's not a future I'm willing to clap for. So let's just sit with that for a minute. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. There were a few moments that I thought I was gonna lose it. I kept it together. I'm dropping the link. If anyone wants to come on through and say anything, bring it in. Let me say hi. Hey, Wade. And I see Rabbit was Lady Sarah was keeping the chat active. Yep, it's highly dangerous. Yep. Mr. Stevens. Greetings, sir.
Hello, how you doing?
Hey.
I just wanted to really let you know that what you're saying, I'm really tired right now. So forgive me for my eyes, but what you saying is really hitting home, and it's really disturbing that we have a president, and I know you just said that it's not about right or left, whatever, to make something so tragic and just spit on it, per se. And I really wonder about the moral the moral decline of people in this country, and the people who are supposed to be our leaders. It's just really disturbing. It's just really disturbing. And yeah, that's all I can say. And the way you just said it, it really just it sat next to my soul, what you just said. And I'm just like, I'm very scared to death. Yeah.
So, Michael, if I was to sit here and say that I myself, if I said that I wasn't scared, I would be lying.
Hmm.
But the thing is, though, is that I'm not scared of one man.
No.
I'm not scared of one man. What I'm scared of is how easily half of this nation was so easily swayed by this one man. And what scares me is that neither side, is, how do I want to say this? It just seems like on both sides that, there's this type of deficiency. Yes, we can sit there and say one side is better than the other, or what have you, but at the end of the day, both sides are guilty of what we were just talking about right now. Both sides
Hmm.
we were guilty. When Charlie Kirk was assassinated, and there's no other way to say it, he was assassinated.
Yeah.
People were taking great delight. And I could wait a minute, and I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm holier than thou. I understand it. I
Hmm.
understand it. But that shit right there does absolutely nothing for us.
Yeah.
When people were being fired, at least 600 people were fired from their jobs because they simply quoted Charlie Kirk. And yet we've got, again, the leader of the free world blaming Rob Reiner's death and his wife's death on Trump derangement syndrome. And
That's
there's
narcissism.
no consequence for that. That should scare the shit out of all of us.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
that should scare the shit out of all of us. But once again, if you were delighting in the fact that Charlie Kirk died or something like that, we're no better. We are no better. And the
Wow.
thing is that, again, in the words of Rob Reiner, political violence is never the answer. And again, he showed humanity, he showed grace, and he stated that. And the thing is that violence just begets violence. we've got to have more action. We've got to be more fortified in how we show up and how we present ourselves. Because listen, the only way to really extinguish a fire is by oxygen. If you take away the oxygen, then it can't, keep going on. So I'm not sitting here and I'm not saying that I've got the answer, but I do know this, that how we have been playing this, both sides are losing. Both sides are losing. And the side that I like to that I choose politically, I want more action and less words. I want actions that are so undeniable that the opposing side can't say anything else. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for.
I don't think that's ever going to happen. I really don't think that's, and not to be a pessimist, but I don't think that's ever going to happen, because you're always going to have somebody gaslighting or playing the victim. Like for instance, I'll just put out something like Nancy Mace. She wants to name BLM Plaza in DC after Charlie Kirk.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm not laughing out of
No, I know where that
amusement.
laughter comes from. I know where that laughter comes from. And here's the thing, Michael. And here's the thing. You know what? The thing is that I know where my limitations are. And the thing is that I cannot take on the macro. I got to take on the micro. And for me, I can't worry about a Nancy Mace. I don't know who that woman is. She's a woman on a platform, but you know what? You're on a platform right now. You're on a platform right now. And so, in the words of Gandhi, the best that I can say is be the example of what you want to see in the world.
Amen.
Amen. Yes, recognize what's out there. Recognize what's out there, but be the example that you want to see in the world.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna go to bed. I can barely keep my eyes open. Take
Mr.
care,
Stevens, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. I knew it was going to be a little bit past your bedtime, but I had to do what I had to do. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
I'm tired.
Take care. Bye-bye.
But thank you for joining us. Okay.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us. All right, sweetie. Have a good night. Wait, what was that? Yes. The macro has to be handled by God, Spirit, the universe. Say it twice so I know it's real. Yes. Yes, Lady Sarah. Yes, Lady Sarah. Oh, and we got Miss Autumn over here. Greetings, Miss Autumn. Greetings. So that's all I wanted to do, fam. I wanted to come out here and just say what I needed to say. Anybody else? Does anybody else want to come on up and share anything? Once again, here I will drop the I'll drop the link. There you go. And if not, you know what? And if not, I guess we can close out on a prayer. And I don't see anyone coming up, and that's okay. So before we all leave, number one, I want to thank everybody for joining. Thank you so much. And you guys don't have to do anything. You guys don't have to do anything. Just think about it. Just think about it. That's it. That's all. So let's close out on this. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. We gather here under divine wisdom. Let empathy guide us, kindness speak through us, and understanding rise where judgment fails. May every word we say and every choice we make honor the humanity in all of us. let the connection be stronger than the division. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is. All right. Hold on. Lady Sarah got something. So I stopped thinking about it. You got to do what you got to do with Lady Sarah. You got to do you at the end of the day. At the end of the day, Lady Sarah, safeguard your peace. Safeguard your peace to what you can do. Safeguard your peace to what you can stand. And that's it. And that's it. All right, y'all. All right, y'all. You know what? In the name of Rob Reiner, y'all go on to YouTube and look up an old episode of All in the Family. Let's remember this man for the laughter that he brought us, for the art that will always live in pop culture. And, again, let's pray that his son gets the help that he desperately needs. And let's just try to be kinder to each other. That's it. That's all. Yeah. Oh, that was a good one. That was a good one. That was a good one. Yeah. Sarah, I like A Few Good Men and Stand By Me. I enjoyed Stand By Me. All right, y'all. Please remember, your assignment is your alignment. And what do we do when the world gets too heavy? We close our eyes and we ask infinite wisdom, show me how good it can be. Show me how good it can be. All right. And with all that being said, you guys have an amazing evening. Thank you all for joining me. All right. Y'all stay blessed.